Hi, I've created this tutorial for those of you who are afraid of code, and something that's a little more realistic probably if you get an entry-level position as a web designer where you'd be working on a template that's already been designed, or maybe pages from a site that have already been designed as well. So again, probably way more realistic, and if you're afraid of code, this is going to be the one for you. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be using a template, and thanks to OS Templates for making these really great templates that are super easy to use. Please be aware though that it's not going to look anything like the mock-up that I made. It's going to look way different, but I'm going to make do and make it as close as I can with what I have. And again, I just want you to be able to get a basic website created here, hence these basic templates here. And in a later tutorial, I will actually show you how to code the really way more sophisticated mock-up that we created in previous exercises using another template, a Photoshop template. They also have templates here, Photoshop templates as well. These are all free, which is pretty cool. So if you like doing that with a template, you can find some other ones here that might work better for the design you're interested in. And then there's also some more sophisticated website templates as well. I'm not going to go through those because it's just a little too much at this point. And again, I want you to get something made quickly and to be able to create a site here. So in order to create an actual website, these templates here are going to use smaller pages. They're not going to use scrolling pages. So what you would do here is pick out several web templates here, designs for your different pages that you're going to have or that you would want to use. So that's totally up to you, and then you would link them together is how it would work. I will show you how to link pages together, but I'm not going to make more than one page here on this tutorial. So what you would do here is you click on the tutorial. We're going to use Basic 88 for this tutorial here. I'm sorry, you're going to click on the template, and then you would download the template. You can actually view a demo of it. So this is the basic part of it. This is what it looks like, and what we're going to do is add our own content to this. Again, it's a super easy layout. It's going to be really easy for you to understand. So you're going to download this template, and this template comes in a 7 zip format. So you're going to need a archive program. You might, if you don't have it on your computer, and I put links to that in the assignment itself. So you either need WinZip or for Mac, or 7-zip for PC, and those are free. So super easy to get. Once you've downloaded those, the other thing that I'm doing with this tutorial is I'm going to make it using Dreamweaver, because most of you have the Creative Suite. So it comes with it, and it doesn't really matter what free program you use. I recommend using Atomic or Brackets are some of my favorites. The principles are basically the same. We're going to work all in code. We're not going to use any of the WYSIWYG stuff that's in Dreamweaver, so it's basically going to be the same thing. So once we, oh yeah, and I want to show you the finished product. So here's what it looks like. So here's what I created using that template. And again, it doesn't look exactly like my mock-up, which is this here. This is, like I said, way more sophisticated. And I am working on a tutorial to show you how to code this mock-up here, which a lot of you did use for the project, for the mock-up project. So that will be on a later date, but for now we're just going to get a basic page up here. And this links to nothing right now. It would go to other pages, so if we want to create a classes page, we could either use this template, we could duplicate it, or use one of the other templates that's in the OS template site to make the about page, the classes page, career, so on and so forth. Again, we're not going to do that in this tutorial. If other people want me to, I will make a tutorial to show you how to do that. Okay, so once we've got the folder on our desktop, what we're going to do is in Dreamweaver, we want to make sure that we use our files, that we open our files using the Dreamweaver window here. And so what I have to do is I'm going to define a site. So we do something similar in brackets. Atomics is just opening up the browser, but you define where your root folder is in brackets. So kind of the same thing. So you would go to New Site. I'm going to go to Manage Sites because I've already created it. And then you would click on the New Site button here. And it's going to take you something that looks like this. So you're going to name the site. You only have to do two things here at this point. Later on, in a couple weeks, we're going to actually be uploading this to the server. So then we would set up the servers. But right now, we're just going to name the site. You can name it whatever you want. It doesn't matter. And then you have to find the folder where you have the actual files. So you would browse on your desktop to find the actual files. And I had mine set there. So I'm going to just cancel this. I'm going to get out, and you would just save and save. Click Done. Okay, so one of the things we want to make sure of in Dreamweaver is that we're in the code. We don't want to be in Split. We don't want to be in Live. We don't want any of this stuff. Okay, we want to be in code. Later on, when you find your own work style, when your own figure out your own way of developing, then you can use these if you want to. We're not going to do that. Do not be on any of these. Be on code. The brackets, atomics, they are strictly code, and that's where we want to be. We want to be learning the code here. One of the cool things is, though, is we can preview this. So down here at the bottom, there's a preview button, and we can. It's a live preview, so we can see it as we make changes. When we see this, this is what it looks like. So as we start changing stuff around, it's going to be really valuable. The next thing that we want to make sure that we have set up is our assets. So what's really cool about these templates, and let's preview it again, is that it shows you the size of your images. And we can change the text, we can alter that later, but the important thing, right, to start out with is creating our images here and deciding what images we want to use. So I just chose some images from the initial layout that I created, and then I went ahead and resized them. You want to resize them in Photoshop and make sure that they're this size here. So starting out with the hero image, what I did was I took because I wanted the text on it. I thought it kind of looked naked without the text. So I wanted to use this. What I did was I turned off all the layers that had all the other stuff on it. You get the idea. Crop it, and then save it as. There it is. And then do a file export and export it as a JPEG. JPEG is a smaller file, so for the most part we want to use JPEGs. Unless we need transparency, we're going to make everything with JPEGs and not the PNG. So if you look, this is 229K. If I go to PNG, the file size doubles. We don't want that. We want small file sizes. Okay, so then I go and save this in my folder. So what I did is I went, and then I can just go and undo all this, or not save it when I close it. I like to leave this open because I like to just be able to see my layout there. So that's what I did with all my assets. I created all the files that I wanted, all my original documents. I used all my original files, and I put them all in a folder, so you can see here with images. So all my images are in here. Another thing that was really valuable for me, and I did not move that in here, why not, was having this this text that I made that has all my text in it for the whole thing, and I can copy and paste this when I go and I start programming, which is a time saver, huge time saver, trust me. So we're going to use that as well. Okay, so now that we have all our assets created, again, the main thing when you do this is to make sure you make them all this size. It'll make it fit better, program better, and then they'll load faster in the long run. So back to Dreamweaver. And normally I have the windows open side by side, but we can't see it in the recording. So you're just going to have to bear with me on that one. One of the things that I want to do here to start out with is look at the title here. So this title is important for search engine optimization. We want to title the website, and the title, I'm just going to give it is Media Arts. At SBCC. Another thing that I want to do is I want to use code to make a description and keywords. This is going to, again, make it better for search engine optimization, and it's going to get me higher up. So I'm not going to go through the... So this code should go underneath the title. I already had it prepared, so to save time, but you can find these meta keyword descriptions, meta name in W3 Schools, which is the greatest resource. If you're not using that, you should be using that, and I've given you links to it, and we've looked at it several times. But yeah, keywords, description. The description is what comes up when you do a query. So it'll let your audience know that they're in the right place. And even though Google doesn't use keywords, other browsers do. And I don't know about you, but I don't even use Google anymore. I use DuckDuckGo or Ecosia. I'm not sure if they use keywords, but I mean, it's better to be safe. And this does help with your content as far as relevancy for the code that's on your site, which helps you get up higher on the list. The other thing you'll see here, and we've looked at this in some of the other exercises that we've done, is this is just the character set. This doesn't even have to be here. It'll still work, but it's just saying to use the character set that we use. We're not using Cyrillic or anything, or Chinese or anything like that. Okay, so it's a standard character set. And this is a link to the style sheet. Okay, so the layout of the style sheet. It's already done for us. Again, we've looked at exercises where we've done this. So as we go down, we look at the code here. All this stuff that's in the head, remember, is invisible. We don't see it in the browser. And then the very first thing that we see here is that basic 88. So again, if we go back and forth, which it's a good idea to do, we can see here basic 88 is what we want to change in this free HTML template there. So those are the things that we're going to change right now, basic 88. And again, if you get your this thing that I made here, Media Arts at SBCC, is right there, my text document. It has a link on here. You could link it to something, I guess. I don't know why this is an anchor tag here that you could link it to something. I don't know why you would want to on the home page. We'd link it to itself, but if this was a subpage, then yeah, you would definitely want it to link back to the home page. My tagline is right here, which is, I'm going to use, have you ever wondered how you could change the world? And I'm going to paste that in there. And I'm going to save it, and then I can go and preview it and see what it looks like already here. And there it is. See, look at that. Very cool, huh? All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is my links here. And then again, I have these all set here. I don't think it matters if they're caps or not. I think it's going to automatically put it in caps, so case doesn't matter. So again, it's cutting and pasting. So this is where the text links are, and we saw that. I hope you did, that you saw it when we looked at the page again. So trust me, this is where it is. So this is where we want to put all our navigation. And if we want to add or take away, I'm going to show you how to do that. So let's see here. We'll put all these in here. And again, it doesn't matter. The case doesn't matter. They're going to be all caps either way. I think these are already, I have plenty here, pretty sure. And again, you don't need a home here because, like I said, the home should be this guy right here. That's the protocol, the general protocol for the web. I'm not going to have to add one here, but I'll show you if I needed to what I would do. So this is the last one here, contact. I'm going to have it save it, and then we can preview it again. And there they all are. See? Told you they're all going to be uppercase. If I needed to add another one or take another one away, all I would do is in the code here, these are list items. So this is a list that is creating that navigation bar. And coding makes it be a horizontal bar. So let's say if I want to get rid of classes, I could just delete it. And then if I save it, we could go back and see here that it is gone. Okay. If I wanted to add another one, again, basically cut and paste. I'm going to be using this again, by the way. I'm just going to add the same one there. So, and then save it. I'm going to go back and we'll see that we have an extra one there. So now we got two classes. And then there's a colored rollover there too, which we're going to change a little later. So I'm going to get rid of the, go back to the original where I was at, get rid of this guy, and then move on. Okay, so I'm not going to show you how to change every single part of the text, totally redundant. But what I am going to do next is show you how to do images. Okay, so remember I said we needed to keep all our images together in a folder, and they need to be in this folder that's on your desktop, which is called the root folder, under a folder titled images for this particular layout to work here. So they're all there, and then all I have to do is go and select them. They should be all the right size. So right here is the image. So you have to know this code here. This is the image source. This is the image file. We can see here it's 960 by 360 in Dreamweaver. It gives you a little preview. So I'm going to get rid of this part of it here, and then I'm going to add the name to the hero. And actually, I think if I delete the slash and then put a slash there, it's going to allow me to browse. So I'm going to browse here and find my hero. And there it is there. I'm going to save it, and then I'm going to show you one more thing here. There we go. Look at that. See, it fits perfectly. It doesn't mess anything up because I made it exactly the same size of the layout. That's what you want to do at this point. I mean, later on, as you get a little more comfortable, you can become more sophisticated. You can change the sizes, so on and so forth. But right now, I want you to stick with doing it this way. I'm going to do all the images now. I'm going to do one of these and maybe this one just to, show you a couple times so you get it. And then we're going to go and do some of the text, and then that's pretty much what we're going to do here. And I'm going to just show you some things that I changed a little bit there, customized. Okay, so next image. Again, super simple. I just need to know which one I'm going to put there. So this is the other image demo. Okay, and the thing that you have to remember about HTML is it's stacking, its boxes stacked on top of each other. And that's how I know I can go down to the next one and it'll be there. So I'm pretty sure it was blog 1 that I was using, hopefully. Yeah, that looks like the one. save it, and then I always like to preview and look at it, make sure it's looks the way it's supposed to look. That way, if I need to undo it or change it, if it's wrong, I can just step right back, just one step. The problem is when something happens and it's wrong or not working, and you've done 10 steps beyond that, getting back to that is almost impossible. So you want to preview and make sure it looks the way you want it to look after each step. So I'm gonna do the other ones off screen. Okay, and there we have it. Beautiful, huh? With my own images there. Pretty simple, huh? Let me show you the code again. So here's what I changed. So this, when you look for text, so pretty much everything that's white in Dreamweaver, I'm not sure what the other programs, but you'll see that is text that you see on the page in the browser. We look for the text that's close to the image, and that's how I can find the image there. And that's that kind of about image, and then here's the other ones, log 1 through 3. So image tags, it's going to have the tag is image src, which is image source, and then it's going to have the location of the file. Okay, your folder should always look like this. There should never be a C or something in front of it or anything like that. If it is, then your paths are wrong and they're not going to work. Okay, so don't change those. Make sure that you have all your files in the right folder. If that happens, you come across that, contact me immediately so I can help you try to figure it out. This stuff here is just totally unnecessary. They put this in here to add another section if you want to add another section, but it's commented out. This is what's called commented out when it's gray. So it no longer, serves a function. It doesn't work. It's a good way to kind of put stuff in that you don't want to do anything, that just lets you know, like this is the beginning of the introduction, this is the end of the introduction. If something's not working and you want to comment it out quickly, a way you can do that in Dreamweaver anyway is using Command or Control and this /, and it automatically comments it out, and then you can toggle it, and that puts it back on. This is really cool to use in CSS because with the live preview you can see what's changing there. Okay, so I'm going to just do one text box, and then the big one probably to show you what that looks like, and then I'm going to let you go from there. So here's what we're going to add. Okay, so this is a little challenge here. What we're putting here is we train you for the workforce, that part, and then we're going to have a list here. So we're going to have lists here underneath here, and you'll see with this template here, they're not lists. So I'm going to show you how to add a list. That's pretty easy, pretty basic. It's already done for us, so it's super easy. So here's that first line there, the lorem ipsum text here. And I'm just going to paste that. Oops, I thought I had it copied. There it is. Okay, so the place where we actually have a list is right here in our navigation bar. So I'm going to make my list only 3 items long. So what I'm going to do here is just copy this tag here. Is UL means unordered list, so that's bullet points. An ordered list is going to give you numbers. That would be an OL there. I'm just going to copy the first 3 here because I'm going to use 3 for each one. And then I'm going to paste it down here where we have text. And I'm going to leave the paragraph tags in there for now, and I'm going to show you why. So I'm going to paste that there. If you want to, you can organize this stuff better. If you just tab, you can indent. So it's kind of nice to indent to see what's going on with it. Now I have to have the closing tag here. So I can copy and paste it, or what's really cool in Dreamweaver is if I put the bracket here and a slash, it'll automatically put it for me. So it does the rest of the tag for me, which is pretty cool. So yeah, so now let's take a look at that. Let's see what it looks like. Actually, you know what? I want to copy and paste the text in here. But another thing I want to do here is I'm not going to link this to anything, so I'm going to get rid of these anchor tags. I don't need the anchor tags. I'm just going to have the list. And then when I copy it, I can copy it and paste it. It's kind of already prepared for the next section. Okay, so, and actually I could really easily do this. Copy all those and then just repeat them. Because I'm going to change the text anyway. It doesn't really matter. All right, so I'm going to paste my new text in there. Okay, so there it is. I pasted it in there. And let's go ahead and preview it now again. Let's see what it looks like. Always preview, like I said. Okay, so this is with the paragraph tag there. And let's see what happens if I remove it, if it applies any formatting there. So a lot of times the paragraph tag will have some formatting applied to it. So we want it may make a difference in how things are displayed. So let's go ahead and remove this. And here's a perfect time to look. Use commenting. So Control and slash. The advantage using commenting is if I want to put it back, then it's really easy to get it back. I didn't delete it, so it's still there if I want to use it. So let's go ahead and see what that did. I saved it. I have to save it every time. Doesn't look like it did anything, did it? So since it did anything, I'm just going to leave it out because it's cleaner. So the less code that you use, the better. That's a good rule of thumb. So I can just delete this, and then we can use it on the other ones. So now that I've done it like that, oh, the other thing that I need to do here is this read more. I can add a link here. And I'm just going to link to our website for read more about our classes. And so let's say I wanted to link to this part of our website. All I have to do is copy the URL. And then in here, in the anchor tag here, so it says more, there is a hashtag here. And I just paste it in there. And then save it. And then now that is linked when I see the, let's see if it works. This read more then should go to the website. Yep, works, awesome. So I'm going to do that for the rest of them as well to the place I want to go. Okay, so I'm going to put the rest of the text in here. I'm not going to walk you through it. I'm going to just do it. I showed you how. And then we'll do this part right here and then the footer, and that's pretty much it. Okay, so as you can see, the text is all in there. The next part I'm going to do is this right here. And I'm going to make this the about section. So I'm going to get this text here for about us and then put it in those spaces there. So again, I'm just copying and pasting. I find it in Dreamweaver. Remember, it was by that one image there, and or you can just look at the text and see if it's correct. I'm going to get this paragraph here. And remember, this was all in my original, so this is the way I had it set up. So I mean, just using the content that was there to kind of make the best as I can out of this. Okay, so there it is. Looks awesome. And again, I can link all these to my website. All right, so a couple things I want to do. Number one is this color here, I want it to be the highlight for everything here instead of this ugly orange color. So I need to get that color, and I can just go get that from my Photoshop document. Super easy. Double click in the color picker, and then it shows me the color there. I copy it, the hexadecimal number. And then in Dreamweaver, let me show you another trick. This is a Dreamweaver trick. I want to go now to the CSS. because I'm going to be changing CSS there. Now look what happens when I roll over a hexadecimal number. You can see the color, it shows it to me. It's kind of cool, huh? So I want to find that ugly orange. I don't think it's any one of these. Let's see. Once I find it the first time, it's going to be easier. Is it that one? No. There it is, FF. So here's what I do. I do Control or Command and F, which is find. And it's going to show it to me. Oops. I actually want to do this whole thing here. I don't think it matters. I'm sure it'll find it from there. And then I'm just going to paste my new one. Click here to find the next one. There they are. And then paste those there. There's only 3 of them, which made it easy. And then save. And now if I go back and look, aha, everything's red now. How cool is that? Yeah. Okay, so last but not least, we're going to do the footer. I decided I only wanted to do 3 blocks here. So here's what I came up with. It looks like this. I did the blocks a little bit differently. Another thing I didn't really like here, I digress, is that this is italicized. I would go back and change that in the CSS. I'm not going to do it right now, but you can if you want to play with it. I could change the typeface. That's all in the CSS, and I'll show you where that is. But let's get the structural stuff done first. And these are columns. So I want to go look in the CSS. And we have 4 columns here we can see. And or we'll look at the code, but let's look at the code down at the bottom here in the footer. And we can see here that we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4. So here's the footer. It has something on top, and then each one of these sections here you can see is a quarter, 1 quarter. So what a couple different things we could do. We could get rid of one of them, but then it's probably the size is going to be off. Or we can look in the CSS and see if they have anything else that might be there. And we might have to change that. But we want 3, so if there's something that's 1/3, that would work really, really well for us. And look at that. There happens to just be thirds in here too. So there's 1 quarter, 2 quarters, 3 quarter, 4 quarter, 1/3, 2/3. So you can have it span if you want. In other words, if I do a 2/3 one, it would span 2 of those columns, or I could do a single column across them, or just use one using the 1/3. So we can see here, this is the name of a class. And if I go back to my source code, I can see that this class is being used here, 1 quarter. So if I want to then, if I want to just use 1/3, 1/3, and then I'm going to, of course, delete one of them. And then this last one, see, this is a special one. It has a last box. So I want to keep that one. That's not the one I want to delete. I want to delete one of the ones that are in the middle or above, either one. So this is section 3. I'm just going to get rid of it. It is now section 3. It was section 4. Preview, save, and preview. And look at that. I only have 3 columns now. Okay, so I'm going to copy and paste text in there. Now, these are already lists, by the way, if we look at the code. So we can see these are lists, and they're also links. I might not need them to link, but once again, I'm going to copy and paste text. So I'm going to use social media. I'm going to use an address, and I'm going to use links to redundant links to the rest of the pages. So Since I don't have a header that sticks on the top, I want to have links, navigation links on the bottom as well. So I'm going to copy and paste the text, and I'm going to show you what that looks like. Okay, so that's what the code looks like. Again, I just copied and pasted the title. I did Media Arts at SBCC, contact, and social media. And then in the lists, I put the links. I put the address information using the amount of rows that I wanted to use. And then I put in my social media. It's probably going to look kind of funky, but again, that's what I got. We could customize later. So this is what we did here. And then we can link it. So again, the best way is just to find what's linked to. For example, this is our Twitter page. I can copy the link, and then I can paste it with Twitter here where the hashtag is, and then save it. And now preview it here. There we go. That's the right one. Let's try this again. Yep, that works. It's because it was in the preview. Cool. Okay, so that's pretty much it. That's all you got to do. You could change the copyright down here, get the date right, put the name of your site here. I would leave the template. I mean, this is how we honor, getting something free from somebody. You could actually put this in the head and have it hidden. I would still do the same thing. But just leave that here for right now would be good. And then, yeah, if we want to link this to another page, let's say we do want a classes page or an about page. Like I said, we could get another template, or if we wanted to use this one, if this worked, we could just in Dreamweaver or whatever program we're using, just do a file save as. So if I do file save as, or whatever, just name the file. Let's say we want this one to be the about. The thing we want to make sure of is that we save it in the same place as the index.html is. So that's in the site root. And then let's go ahead and change this so we can see it, just so we can see it here. No, I don't want to get rid of that. Yeah, I guess we're going to have to so we can see it. We just needed a different layout, but I'm going to do about, change this to about. So then when I go back here, what I want to do is I want to link this to about.html. So I have to make sure that it's named exactly the same as the other one was. And then this one we're going to the home page. It was supposed to go to the home page. And we could link that back to, well, we'll just make this one home just so you can see it. And then we'll link this to index. This is not the normal way you would want to do it, but I just want to show you how you would link the pages together. So let's go ahead and preview it. If I click on About Us, it should take me to the About page. And so you can see it is About. And then I made home there, and that'll take me home. Okay, so that concludes this tutorial. Please let me know immediately if you have any questions. And then we can go from there. Can't wait to see what you come up with.